Welcome to Florida Hood Blogs. This video is the top 10 best places to retire in the Sunshine State, Florida. Now, I have seen a lot of these lists on the internet about the top 10 best places to retire in Florida. Don't believe them. They have no idea what they're talking about. It doesn't even seem like these people have ever stepped foot in Florida. This is the real top 10 best places to retire in Florida, so let's get right to it. By the way, this is the middle class version. We're going to do an affordable top 10 best places in Florida, and we're also going to do a money doesn't even matter top 10. So let's get right into it. Number 10 is Cypress Lakes, aka South Fort Myers. This area has a lot to offer. It's not a spectacular area, that's why it's only number 10 on the list, but it has shopping. It has easy access to Cape Coral. You can head north along McGregor into the Fort Myers Historic District. The area is extremely affordable for Southwest Florida, and it's highly overlooked. People don't really pay attention to this area. Many people go into Lehigh, Cape Coral, other areas that are commuter places. They're not even that close to the city of Fort Myers. The crime is very low in this area. There's affordability. There's easy access to Fort Myers Beach. There's easy access to Sanibel Island, which is a beautiful little island. This area has a lot going for it, and the home prices are affordable. Definitely deserves to be on this list for a low-key spot. Number 9 is Citrus Hills. The locals are not going to be happy that Citrus Hills, Pine Ridge, and Black Diamond are on this list. They want to keep this area low-key. But in the central region of Citrus County is Citrus Hills. They have the Black Diamond Golf Course, which is one of the most beautiful golf courses in the state of Florida. The community of Black Diamond is also a very affluent community, and they are really cool old people. They have car clubs. They have coffee shops where you can get to meet the local people. This area has a lot going for it. It has rolling hills. The affordability of this area is unbelievable. There is proximity to Beverly Hills, which some people say is a bad neighborhood, and they're just doing that to keep it affordable. The whole area is beautiful. You're close to the Rainbow River. You have access to Homosassa, which has a beautiful river that goes out to the Gulf, although navigating that waterway is a little bit difficult. You need to be very careful because you will hit some horrible rocks. The area is beautiful, and it offers close access to Ocala and the villages. So Citrus Hills definitely needs to be on the list. Number 8 is Marco Island. Low on the list because it lacks good restaurants, and it also is very unaffordable. Marco Island is usually going to push $700,000. So for the average person looking to retire, that's a little bit on the steep end. However, Marco Island is a beautiful place. It has access to the Gulf. Most properties have access to a canal. The waterway is beautiful. You are on the edge of the 10,000 islands. So basically, for Marco Island, heading south is nothing but keys and beaches all the way to the Florida Keys, and access to the most beautiful, pristine Everglades wilderness. Marco Island is definitely for nature lovers. The canals are full of snappers and snook and tarpon. The police force in Marco Island has absolutely nothing to do because there's so little crime on this island. In fact, most of the arrests and crime on the island probably involve police officers who have more time on their hands than they can handle. Don't believe me? Google it and you'll see that most of the crime on Marco Island is actually police officers. You can't blame them. They have absolutely no crime to worry about. It's a beautiful place. Not a lot of things to do as far as restaurants and shopping. More things to do as far as nature. If you don't have a boat, it's probably a boring place. Number 7 on the list is Coral Gables. Just south of Miami, there are some great suburbs. And South Miami has that Cuban music, the Cuban food. It's a very tropical place. The shopping is unbelievable. The landscaping, the plants, the giant banyan trees, the entire area is absolutely gorgeous, spectacular, elegant. It's not one of the most affordable areas. It's very expensive, but Coral Gables is a nice area. You have easy access to Biscayne Island. You have easy access to Brickell and downtown Miami. You have easy access to South Florida in general. It's in a really good area, and you have easy access to 95 heading southbound. Definitely a nightmare going north because of all the commuters. But Coral Gables, it's right in the middle of Miami, basically. It's a nice little suburb within the city. Awesome area. Number 6 is a suburb north of Tampa, Wesley Chapel. Also New Tampa. These suburbs just north of Tampa are really awesome. Lots of shopping, lots of things to do, new communities, new shopping centers. The area is absolutely perfect to retire. Wesley Chapel South is actually north of Wesley Chapel. If somebody wants to explain that to me, please go ahead and do in the comments. The area just to the north of this suburb is beautiful. Spring Lake. This is rolling mountains. Like some of the highest peaks in Florida are there. Rolling hills, if not mountains for Florida standards. Beautiful oak trees. If you just need to get out of the city and see some oak trees, see some horses, see some country roads, you can do that. I mean, and then you can run south into Tampa. This suburb is amazing. Number 5, ESTERO, Florida. Great shopping opportunities. There's a lot of malls here. This is a suburb between Naples and Fort Myers, and there's a protected area to the east and Gulf to the west. The area has very little space to grow, so the fact that there's just large shopping centers and communities going up and limited space means it's a good investment to put property there, to buy property. The area is really growing. Everything is new. There's not too much old stuff, so everything is new. The area is growing. The village of ESTERO is the proper name for it, and if you ever have to pull a permit there for something, it's going to be a nightmare. So make sure whatever property you buy, you look into city codes and all that, because it is a nightmare to deal with them. The village of ESTERO is the proper name, and it's a really nice little area, and it's a little expensive, but it's in Southwest Florida, so that's what it costs. Number 4 is Venice. For the money, I think it's a little expensive, but the town is amazing, not only for retirees, but also for young people who like to surf. This is a California town in South Florida. It really feels like California. It's got that beach town feel. It's got an inlet where you can go fishing. The beaches are amazing, and it's most of the west coast of Florida is flat along the coast. Here it kind of like points out a little bit, so you can actually get a real good view of the skyline and the coast. It's an amazing area. There are really normal neighborhoods as well, just like normal class neighborhoods. They're a little expensive, but you're going to pay for being in Venice. It's a nice area. There's suburbs that sprawl all the way out to the east and meet up with Northport. You're close to Sarasota, so the area of Venice is definitely nice. Now, towards the south is Englewood. It's not as attractive. Venice is definitely an awesome place. Number 3 is Jupiter Palm Beach Gardens, that whole area. We're looking at a screenshot here of Juno Beach. These houses can actually, there's like a hill there in Juno Beach, so even though they're like a quarter-mile in, you can still see the beach. This area is awesome. The shopping is amazing. The restaurants are good and they are affordable, and you're close to Palm Beach. It's a really good area to retire. There's no lack of new communities. There's highways that don't have as much traffic. 95 and all the other roads don't have as much traffic as they do in the rest of Southeast Florida. So this area is awesome. Jupiter also has a huge inlet, so if you like fishing, you like being on the water, sometimes the waves there are really huge. It's an awesome area. There's so much to do as far as shopping, and it's really relaxed, really calm place. Awesome area to retire. Look into it. Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens, Juno Beach. This area is awesome. Number 2 is the Villages. Now I'm going to warn you, this may not be for everybody. If you are very active, this is really a place for the elderly. They have roads for golf carts, so that should give you an indication. And there's a Facebook group where people actually make fun of the drivers. So it's definitely a place for the elderly, and I don't know why there's young people living there to begin with. I'm sure they need somebody to cut the lawns or whatever, but whatever. The Villages, it may not be for you, but if you like driving a golf cart, you like the fact that you can drive around this whole town in a golf cart. It's a master plan community, which means you will not be stuck in traffic. I think you can even sip around in your golf cart underneath roads and stuff. So if you're going shopping, whatever you're doing, you don't even have to get in your car. So if you are running on limited time, you don't want to be stuck in a traffic jam because you know that your imminent death is approaching at your age. The Villages will save you time, and the houses are kind of like a little bit northern style. They're not as tropical looking. It gets a little bit cold in Sumter County, which has a really low crime rate. You're close to Orlando. You can get up to Ocala horse country. So it may be the right place for you. It may be a little bit aged, outdated. I don't know what the right term would be for most of us. Number 1 is Lakewood Ranch, basically the east side of Sarasota, our beautiful suburbs. Sarasota is one of the fastest growing areas. The amount of new stuff going in, and this area for the most part is master planned. I didn't want to just say Sarasota because Sarasota is a city. It's got traffic. It's got everything, all the other Florida big cities, West Palm Beach, Naples, Fort Myers. It's all the same stuff. But the eastern side of Sarasota is master planned. The roads are less traffic. The buildings are new. The amount of investments that are going in there, the projects are massive. So everything's new, everything's pretty. Sarasota has beautiful beaches. Siesta Key has always been rated among the top beaches in the state of Florida. You have easy access to the Orlando, Lakeland, Tampa area. This area is awesome, and it's growing faster than any other area in the state of Florida from what I can see. You're going to love it, and it's a good area.